Welcome back to my animal education series. Today I'm here with Gina at the Pueblo Zoo. Hello.
Hello.
And who do we have here?
So this is Barney. He is a Malayan sun bear.
So where can you find these sun bears?
So these guys are in Asia, Borneo, the island of Borneo. He is a mainland sun bear, so he's going to be a little bit more into like the actual continent of Asia. You'll find him in like the dense forest areas.
And obviously this isn't the typical bear that people think of when you hear the word bear. Usually people think of grizzly bears or black bears. So what makes this bear so special?
So these are actually, besides Barney, these are actually the smallest bears in the world. Barney's a pretty big boy. Usually they come in about half his size. They're neat because of their claws is one of their coolest features. They don't need a trim. This is just how long they are. They climb trees, they dig for like bugs and meat and things like that. And so they use those claws to do all that kind of stuff, dig out fruits, things like that. They're called sun bears because of the crescent on this chest. It's like a sun. That's how they actually got their name.
So what other adaptations do these sun bears have?
So he actually has a very long tongue. It can reach out to almost a foot out of the side of his mouth. Again, it's to reach inside those little tiny pockets and holes and get all that good honey. They love honey, things like that out of holes and stuff. So they also use their nails, like I said, for climbing, digging, all that kind of stuff. So those are the two. They have tiny little ears and tiny little eyes. That is also an adaptation. So when they're climbing, they're not catching things, getting poked in the eyes very often or getting big ears caught on things like that is all an adaptation. They also they're kind of like bulldogs, a lot of fat and muscle around the neck. It's just a protection. It protects all the good important parts of them from either being attacked by any other animal, fights, while they're going through these dense forests, things like that.
So what kind of habitat do they typically live in?
So dense foresty areas is where you can usually find them.
And are these bears endangered?
They are. They're actually very endangered because people in China will hunt them and use them for their gallbladder, liquid from their gallbladders. They actually will, the bile from them, they put them in, they have factories. They'll put them in actually tiny little cages and they'll knock them down, take out some of their bile and then put them back, and that's pretty much all they use them for. But they'll have these big factories with multiple bears in it, and it's a hot thing in China for things like that. So that's actually one of the biggest reasons why they're endangered, that and habitat loss.
So what is being done to help the sun bear?
There's multiple conservation programs for them. There's the sun bear conservation that is rescuing these animals that have been in these bile factories. Here at the zoo, we're part of an SSP, a species survival program. Multiple zoos within the U.S. are part of that, and what that means is we basically are holding on to a healthy population until we can one day release these guys back into the wild.
So where did this particular bear come from?
He was born in a zoo. I honestly don't remember which zoo. He's been with us for so long that I don't remember where he came from.
And how old is this bear?
He is 30 years old. So he is actually considered a geriatric bear. He's pretty old. So that's what you can say. He's got a nice gray streak down the back of his back.
And how long do these bears typically live for?
30s, mid-30s, yeah, in captivity. In the wild, it's more 20s, early 20s.
And how big do these bears get? Because you said that he's larger than usual.
Yeah, he's a lot bigger than usual. Normally they're about 90 to 100 pounds. Barney, like I said, is a big boy. He's about 260.
Wow.
But there's two different subspecies. There's the mainland, which he is. There's a lot less of those, especially in the captive population, so he's a little bit bigger. And then the island sun bear is a lot more smaller.
So what sort of enrichment is provided for these bears?
So we do lots of different types. Mostly with Barney, we try and keep him his mind active. So we'll give him puzzles. Like today, he's got this barrel over here. It doesn't look like he's too interested in it yet, but we put some treats in there for him, so he's got to figure out how to get them out. A lot of times we'll do puzzle things like that. Food is, of course, his favorite, so we'll give him some novelty foods, that he doesn't get in his diet. So honey is a big one, peanut butter, peanuts is what he was getting today. So just kind of treats, things like that. A lot of times we'll hide it throughout his exhibit, so he's got to go search for it, use that big nose of his to go find it.
And I also see in the enclosures all the climbing opportunities for the bear.
Yeah, so we modeled this, we designed this exhibit for his natural behavior. So some bears are climbers, and they're actually pretty agile. So we made lots of high ramps and kind of tricky places for him to use and explore. It also utilizes a lot more of the space so he doesn't have to just the ground. He can get up if he needs to.
Well, thank you so much for telling us about the sun bear, as we have the weed eater coming back. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up down below, subscribe to my channel, and also check out my Instagram @ColeShirk. And as always, I'll see you next week.